So the first one, and if you've been watching my channel, you know this, but the very first one is gonna be the trim kit. I have literally used this on trims. I have used this on things I don't wanna scratch. This is something that I use so much. Look at the condition of the box. Look at the condition of the actual tools. These are actually used, which is super duper cool if you think about having a set of tools that you use with so many things. Like I've literally pried stuff in different trims for different cars. I have literally used these, and the reason why is because for the amateur mechanic, the thing that they use is a screwdriver or a flathead, and you're gonna hurt things. You're gonna scratch things, you're gonna bend things, you're gonna mark things. And the way that it works is that anytime you're prying on something, it's a battle, and whatever material's the hardest is gonna win. But the cool thing about this kit is that sometimes you have very stubborn fasteners, like on fender liners, and really these plastic ones are having a hard time fighting against these stubborn plastic ones. And they give you a metal one, which is nice, so you have a metal trim piece. And I have to say, this is the #1 tool that I have used on every single car. And the cool thing is, when I was looking at all of the tools and thinking of how to make this video, it's crazy because the tools that I've used the most show the most wear, which is kind of cool. The magnet, the adjustable heavy duty magnet. Now I've gone through all types of magnets. I've gone through the one that looks like a telescoping pin. I've gone through the ones that are very long, and a lot of those are good, but they've also failed me because they're not strong enough. And let me tell you, when you drop a bolt in an engine bay and you've truly lost it, this is gonna save you. I can name 2 times where I've spent in the garage literally sometimes over an hour just looking for a missing bolt that I really need, that I can't just replace. One of them was the Mercedes. I lost a very important bolt in there, and I found it using this. And the crazy part is that I use this in conjunction with my boroscope light. That's pretty cool, and that's one of the tools that we used a couple times. And what I do is I find the bolt using the boroscope light, and then I go down, I snake this however I need to, and this one is strong enough to grab something. Let me tell you, the smaller magnets, they can't grab heavy duty stuff, but this gets stuff that's really big, and that's why having a heavy duty magnet is crucial. And this is just important because as a mechanic, as a technician, or as a DIYer, you're gonna drop stuff, and this is key. Now, this tool I would say is used more in home than car stuff, but I've also used this to remove massive angry clamps. And here's an example. This was a clamp for an intake for a Mazda RX-7, and I tried to use a regular tool, and it came off, and it snapped back, and it hit my finger. It hurt really bad. But this bad boy, this was able to grab it. This is so big, it has so much leverage that it has no problem. But this tool, if I had to pick up 5 tools for the entire house, this is one that I need. And this is humongous. It opens up. I use this on my irrigation system. I've used this on all types of pipes. I've used this on all types of things that are heavy duty. I've used this to remove hoses off of engine bays. Having something heavy duty like this is extremely important, and it bites, and you could just do a lot with this. This is something that I've used all the time. So this became one of my favorite tools. Whenever we're removing vacuum hoses or any type of hose on the engine bay, sometimes taking them off or getting them pried is troublesome. This makes it super easy. And now this has become my go-to when I'm working on stuff, because now, you know, with about 20 years of experience in the automotive industry, I move quickly. And the cool thing is I get my right tool. You know, like, I don't know if I went to the dentist recently, and the guy was just moving so fast. He knew what he was doing. And that's the way I am with engine bays. And this tool is good because when you're working on stuff, you remove the clamp, you remove the hose, you remove the vacuum hose, and you're making progress. And like, again, your tools are gonna really make you the best professional. And the next is gonna be this ratcheting hex key set. And I love this thing because you could put, you know, the adapter on the top, or you could flip it over and you could put it on the side, and you could use like this. I would say I've used this on so many license plates, so many coil packs, so many engine bays. This is helpful. And on top of that, I've used this a lot in furniture, but this is one of those tools that literally sits on top of my toolbox, because anytime you have to deal with a hex key set, instead of pulling out the bag and throwing them out there and, you know, researching them, these are labeled and you could just pull one out and use them. And this is very helpful because a lot of the times you're going to see these, and you're going to see these bolts specifically in engine bays. And this has been something that I've been using for a long time. And I have to say, this is awesome. Your rubber mallet. Many people just have a regular hammer, and that's bad because, again, when you're doing metal contact, whichever one's the strongest, and of course, whichever one has the most inertia is going to win. And the reason why the rubber mallet is crucial is because this allows you to hit things without typically hurting them. As a matter of fact, at least uses this for most of the decorations throughout the year when we're putting up decorations in the house. You know, this is good to pound in steaks. This is good to do so much stuff that isn't going to hurt whatever you're pounding on. And that's what it's literally designed. As a matter of fact, you have all types of variations of hammers. You have brass hammers, you have your regular hammers, you have rubber mallet hammers, and within the rubber mallet family, you have a ton of different ones. But this bad boy has been my friend. I've used this to take off brakes. I've used this to take off stubborn suspension components. I've also used it to put on suspension components. I've literally used this for so much, and you could just see the wear on this. This has literally seen so much action. And this is one of those things that anytime you're doing something, you're like, man, I wish I could just hit it in there or tap it in there, or just, you know, have something that I could just tap it on. And then you go to your hammer, or you put your hammer and then you put a towel over it. Think about having a rubber mallet. This is what's going to save you. And again, if you're learning how to work on stuff, this will save you, because anything you need to put force on, you could use this without using your hand, using something that's going to hurt something. This is so critical. All right, our next one is a time saver. Literally, this is going to apply to a lot of you guys, and then a lot of you guys might not need this, but when you're wrenching or you're using a ratchet, you know, you take it off a bolt, it takes you some time, but there's a lot of cars and there's a lot of things that have about 20 or 30 bolts that require the same thing for you just to remove them. And they're not special, and they don't require you to be very gentle. And that's why having something that is fast, something that you literally could just, you know, let it do the work for you and let it do the work for you faster is the key. And again, as you become a better technician, as you become a better DIYer, it's all about saving time, being efficient, and just being able to get the job done fast, but also do it really well. And this is the type of stuff that makes it happen. I want you guys to think about it. You know, if you're taking off a clamp, you know, you remove the clamp real quickly, you take off the hose. If you need to take off an engine panel, you know, you remove that. Tools like this is a big game changer. So guys, we're gonna have a link for every single one in the description. If you need one, add it to your amazing collection of tools. I'm telling you, all of these are gonna just help you, and over time, you're gonna use all of these. And that's why I share these with you, because as I've gone through all these tools and I've tried things, these are the things that make it successful, and this is the things that make us able to do all the things that we do, and it's just exciting. All right, guys, thank you for watching. You take care, stay safe, we'll talk to you soon.